All right, so we're doing section 8 and 9 together, chapters 8 and 9 together as one unit. So 8.2 is a root. So we're talking about when you multiply a number by itself. Okay, so a root, the root of a number, is a value that when multiplied by itself a certain number of times is equal to that number. All right, so what I mean by that, since 3 times 3 is 9, then 3 is the square root of 9, because 3 multiplied by itself twice, and you get 9. Negative 2 is the cube root of negative 8, because negative 2 multiplied by itself 3 times, so negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. So is 3 the only square root of 9? All right, so you're thinking of a number multiplied itself that produces 9. We know for sure 3 times 3. But also negative 3 times negative 3. Both of these equal 9, so 3 is not the only square root. Is negative 2 the only cube root of negative 8? Okay, negative 2, negative 2. All right, remember, a root is when you multiply it by itself however many times. So my only options to get an 8 when I multiply 2's is either all positives or all negatives. Okay, so if I multiply all my positives together, I don't get negative 8. I get positive 8. So negative 2 is the only cube root of negative 8. So as you're dealing with the square roots, okay, the principal root is the positive square root, and the secondary is the negative. All right, so the little number on the outside right here is your index. If you don't see an index, it's an understood square root. The symbol itself is called a radical, which just means you're taking a root. And the thing underneath the radical is your radicand. Now, the thing you do need to watch out for is when the index is even. Okay, even index. So there I have an understood square root right here. All right, so is there a number times itself that produces a negative 36? So my only two options are 6 and 6, and negative 6 and negative 6. But both of those together get positive 36. So is there a number times itself that gets you negative? No. This is not real. Okay, we'll get to what that actually looks like in another section, but for now, it's not real. All right, so I want you to think of a number times itself produces a 4. Okay, and I'm looking for a number times itself just twice, because I have an understood 2 right here. Okay, so the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, now is there a number times itself that gets you a negative 25? Okay, well, no, just like the square root of negative 36 is not real, the square root of negative 25 is not real. What number times itself 3 times is 27? So the number times itself 3 times is 27 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And then what number times itself 3 times is negative 125? So that's going to be negative 5. Because negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. And times the negative 5 is negative 125. All right, so here we're just evaluating. So I want to take their square roots first. So what number times itself is 25? That's 5. What number times itself is 36? That's 6. And 5 plus 6 is 11. All right, what number times itself 3 times is negative 216? That's negative 6. What number times itself 3 times is 8? That's 2. We add them together, we get negative 4. Now with fractions, you can take their square roots and cube roots separately. So square root 9, square root 25, the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 25 is 5. All right, do the same thing here. The negative's on the outside, so it doesn't affect what's on the inside. Square root 36, square root 49. So square root of 36 is 6, and the square root of 49 is 7. An example 9, this one is a cube root. So it's what number times itself 3 times? So we're going to take those separately. And the cube root of 27 is 3, and the cube root of 125 is 5. All right, and our last one, the cube root of negative 1 over 1,000. It just means it's negative. The cube root of 1, cube root of 1,000. And I can take a cube root of a negative number because it's not an even index. 3 is not an even number. Well, the cube root of 1 is 1, and the cube root of 1,000 is 10.